Okay, I haven't played Tekken 7 before. We've been doing the canon endings of the prior Tekken games. I want to say we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're skipping 6 because 6 is kind of bad. So we're going to watch a recap of what happened in 6 here that's in-game. Go ahead and boot it up here. This one has a campaign where you play as different characters, it sounds like, which is kind of cool, instead of there being like a canon playthrough. Tekken's goofy, like, seems to know that it's goofy, but it still takes itself kind of seriously. I haven't seen anything quite like it. Graphics. What death? Catastrophe. Why? Hey, it's the scene. Okay, that looks cooler when you, like, lift them and throw them in the air instead of just kind of, like, letting them fall off your arms. How many cliff drops are there now? 3? There's one that happened before Tekken 1. There's one at the end of Tekken 1. And there's the one where he does it to his son again. I feel like every Tekken should end with that. Lord Heihachi. I maintain that there are 3 dips. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I guess a total of 4 then. Wait, Akuma's in this? There's a cyborg ninja? The events of Street Fighter are canonical to Tekken? That would be great, Spiky. Wait, so this isn't the opening cutscene for the game? Is Heihachi like an evil, mass-murdering psychopath, or the good guy? Pretty good graphics, though. Heihachi dubstep. Press any button. Except the one I pressed. I pressed A and it didn't work. Then I pressed X and it didn't work. And then I pressed start and then it worked. Alright, story, the Mishima Saga. Gallery. We want to see the Tekken 6 recap. This one. Summary. Okay, yep, I remember.
ジンは言う。圧倒的な力で全てを終わりにすると。三島財閥の全世界掌握は時間の問題と思われていた頃、G 社が
Oh, of
三
course.
島財閥の前に立ちはだかる。
His big corporation just took over the
その
world.
頃から俺はこの戦いに疑問を抱くようになっていた。俺たちのこの戦いは本当に正しいのだろうか。俺は志を同じくする者たちと共に
The Tekken Force? What?
全兵力の半
Isn't
数
this just a martial arts tournament?
三島財閥からの反乱を決意する。そんな中、
Is the phrase off the rails?
莫大な懸賞金をかけると発表。G 社の発表に呼応するように、三島財閥は
The only series I can think of that's maybe comparable is Saints Row, but Saints Row is obviously satire.
新たな戦いの地へと赴く。すべてはあの日から始まった。
That seems pretty important. Lars is the main character of Tekken 6. Along with an android he finds in a lab he raided. So jump the rails upon which the sharks are shipped on. Yeah. Standard difficulty setting for casual players. Sounds good for me. Does not affect the content of the story. Actually, I booted this up to test the video, and it had like 43 pop-ups that I had to dismiss. Like, I think I unlocked the ability to play as the Taiko no Tatsujin bongo drum or something like that. That was the first thing that popped up. It's just quiet. I'll turn it up a bit.
I was so happy I cried. At the time, I believed that love was all anyone needed. For some years now, I've been investigating a certain father and son, and I managed to get a hold
Not an important one.
the boy wrote to his father. It said, "Father, one day, I will tear you to pieces."
Harrison Ford is like doing it badly on purpose because he hates the idea of the narration. Several decades ago. I have to play his kid Kazuya. Nice. His mustache mirrors his hairstyle. Nice. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. Story? Fighting game stories are finally going somewhere. This is how the modern Mortal Kombats are set up, right? 4 preset moves by holding the assist button and pressing punch or kick. Oh, that's kind of cool. For noobs like me. I like that a lot. He just keeps kicking me in the face. It's great. It's a pretty big difference from the way the previous Tekken games have all had story mode. Throw Kazuya off. It's just the throw button. The first significant thing you do in the Tekken 7 story is throw a child off a cliff. I love it. Well, yeah, that opening cutscene was just full of spoilers for the game. What the fuck? Okay. That's great. I love you have to press the throw command too. It has to be XY, right? Game of the year. Just everyone keeps dropping each other off cliffs. Make the dive kick of cliff dropping. Yeah. Great minds, Brutus. That looks like a Zaibatsu chair.
As leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu, Jin Kazama plunged the world into war. He sent the human race to hell, all so he could save it.
What?
Fear and hatred enveloped the globe, filling it with despair. Just as Jin
It's like Saints Row played straight.
despair awoke Azazel, an ancient beast sealed deep underground because
What?
of its threat to humanity. Jin defeated Azazel in battle and saved the planet. Could the world really be considered saved? The war that Jin began has now evolved into a battle between the Mishima Zaibatsu and Jin.
Oh, this is some fun. This is some Barkley shut up and jam guided shit. I live for this. And they're dead fucking serious.
It's winner take all, and the prize is world domination. Jin, the one who started everything, has gone missing in the Middle East. His whereabouts remain unknown, but his disappearance has
Warning.
tipped the scales.
Tekken 7 is canon.
エリア E2031 にて救難信号を受信。国連軍のヘリからと思われます。我々が数日前まで当初を捜索していたエリアの近くです。
Increase surveillance. If a UN soldier so much as sneezes, I want to know.
了解。近隣の町をチェックさせます。
What? Oh my god. This is like a one of those South Park Hollywood parodies. Gotta save my baby.
陣を失った財閥が混乱する様子が手に取るようにわかるわい。
Oh man, it has been worth playing all of Tekken up to this point just for this shit. This is great.
If there were demons in this world, what form would they take?
He kind of sounds like Blade Runner Harrison
The answer
Ford,
to that
actually.
question still eludes me.
He's really quiet. I'm trying to turn up the
I was
sound.
reporting from a battlefield, gathering news about the war to bring to the world. When I headed back to the barracks, a message was waiting for me. I was dumbstruck. How could my hometown have come under attack? When I returned, nothing was as I remembered. The roads used to be quiet, hardly a car in sight. But now tanks and armored vehicles line the streets like an iron wall. Though it was noon, a thick fog of ash enveloped the sky.
This is naive camp, isn't it?
The blackened trees, the burning ground.
Like injected into my veins. Like
The place I once called home was now just an ashen field. And streets
How does this happen with such a huge company, though?
Children,
It makes it better.
trucks.
Is a Tekken creator
Everyone I
like?
loved had been lost to the
Is there like one guy, and people just gonna do what he says?
That day, my old life ended, and a new one began.
No tone whiplash
My
at all.
loneliness and despair, a hatred grew inside.
Although it keeps showing up to give you an opportunity to skip, like it doesn't just say skip the whole time; it just fades in and out. We understand if you don't want this. This is some Resident Evil 6 shit, but it's like even better.
生体反応はなし。やはり当主はもう G 社の攻撃も激化しております。当主が不在の今。
Yeah, it's like the effort level. See, it being so high effort is part of what makes it hilarious to me. They didn't have to care because it's a fighting game. Who cares, right? This is the culmination of Tekken. There's a spider elevator? This is the game with the wrestler with the cat mask, right? Audio balance is bizarre. It's super quiet now for no reason.
Catch him, quick.
There's no reason for that to be a spider elevator. I mean, other than the rule of cool, I guess. Like, do you think that was Jin demanded that? Like, there's gonna be this giant room. Of course, he's kicking missiles. Two with a cat mask, to be precise.
What a pain in the neck.
This is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. How much of a loser do you have to be to have a gun in this universe?
これだけか。わしの出迎えにしては少々物足りんの。
I love the punch sounds too, right?
Fight.
I have to fight the one guy at the end. Maybe he's someone special in there, though. Trying to press the throat child button. There it is. Throat child button. Oh, nice. And choppers. They have to make Heihachi look strong. The best way to do that is have him fight a bunch of mooks. It's interesting to have you play as Heihachi first, because he's basically like the Shao Kahn of this series, right? Or like the M. Bison. But then he became so popular as like the poster child for Tekken. Because Kazuya and Jin are both like super boring, so they don't have crazy hair. Crazy enough hair, I should say. Well, he had sex with a Swedish woman to see if the devil gene was his fault? What? That was a cool little sequence. Is this gonna be like Metal Gear? Is it gonna be more cutscene than game? Because I'm living for it. Sonya. Oh, I'm sorry, Nina.
What do you want now, Heihachi Mishima?
So in this case, it's weird that they're all speaking in their native language. There's nowhere to run. Give up. The assists available in the multiplayer as well, as that just for story mode? Ouch. Ouch. Come on. Rage art.
Fight.
Default rage art button is right bumper. Okay, apparently I missed. So she has it too, though, it looks like. Gonna lose. Then Heihachi died. The end of Tekken 7. Oh, it starts back from the first phase, okay. Just hit her in the head repeatedly, that seems pretty effective. She takes a while to get up.
Time to die.
Devil communicators. Does having the red bar do anything for you? Like give you like extra damage or something? Or does it just mean you can use your special? Cool. Okay, so I can't keep using my kicker in the head tech, it looks like. She gets much better in phase 2. Oh, now I'm dead. She tries to use it as a finisher, presumably. That seemed unnecessary.
You lose.
Oh, I see. If you're low on life, it does extra damage. How does blocking work? This works in phase 1. Hold back to block. Okay. Was it gonna work again now? Oh, kind of. Not quite though. So you want to try to save it for when they're lower on health? She blocked it. Okay. When you're on normal, it does adaptive difficulty. That's cool. Let's do this. Jin summoned the dragon Azazel.
ジンが消息不明である今、三島財閥を立て直せるのはわしを置いて他におるまい。
This is what people imagine about, like, Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer, right? This is how Steve Ballmer took over Microsoft. This costume! Looks like a professor. Okay, fine, you can take over, but no one will take you seriously if you don't wear a suit. King of Iron Fist tournament. My first action as CEO, right? It's like the Emperor Palpatine Surgical Reconstruction Center in the extended Star Wars lore. Where Palpatine's first action as Emperor was to rename the Surgical Reconstruction Center.
Why on earth would you want to hold a tournament now, like this?
Oh my god.
found myself staying in a cheap hotel. Reports on the hellish war never let up. News of Heihachi's return to the Mishima.
It's actually really similar to the Harrison Ford. You can look up Harrison Ford narration Blade Runner.
The airwaves day and night. But none of that mattered to me. From my drab room, I just stared up at the moonlit sky.
What? Looking at the ceiling of your
The
room.
concept of evil.
The art that they drew the art. What?
Who torched my hometown? The Mishima Zaibatsu? Or was
No, it's really quiet in my ear. If I turn it up, then the combat's going to be really loud. I'll see if I can get into an options menu later.
Who could tell?
I sat staring at the night sky through my ceiling.
A fellow reporter visited me and offered me a ray of hope in the form of an expose on G Corporation. G Corp were at
He's talking at like half the volume of all the other characters, yeah.
And it appeared that they had the public on their side. People believed that the Zaibatsu had started the war, so it was only natural that they saw G Corp as their saviors. However, my reporter friend came into my hotel and, barely able to contain his excitement, presented me with the picture. It revealed G Corp's true colors, which conflicted with their public image.
What is their public image? Spider elevators and child murderers and declaring a worldwide fighting tournament as a first order of business? Oh, but giant robot punks with mohawks, that's completely unacceptable. You'll get canceled for that in this culture. Oh, okay. My confusion. Alright, let me see. Voice volume. Turn that up. Oh, movie volume is probably the big one. Okay. Hopefully that's enough. If it's still too quiet, let me know. Jack 4. Punk robot. Okay, this is meant to teach me guarding, it looks like. Is this like effectively a retcon then? Okay. I like jumping around the timeline, that's fun. Yeah, it's like, that looks like an old cutscene. Ow. This is a really cool way to do a fighting game story, though. I hope that this is like just the way all games do it from now on. I mean, the ridiculous cutscenes are icing on the cake, but jumping around in time and switching perspectives and stuff is a cool way to teach you all the characters, too. I guess Subspace Emissary was basically that, huh? Did Brawl invent this? Head kick cheese. He's fine. Fourth model of Jack? The different art styles.
It all started with an explosion in the heart of the Mishima estate. At the time, the media reported it as an unfortunate accident. But when strange truths began to come to the light, things didn't appear quite so clear-cut.
The baffling war journalist
After the
narration.
explosion came the deaths of a number of G Corporation
Why is this here?
executives. The newspapers put it down to a coincidence, a series of tragic occurrences. But the truth was far more sinister. In reality, an attempt by G Corporation to take out one of their own had failed, and the man they had targeted came baying for revenge. The missed target's name was Kazuya Mishima. After disposing of the guilty parties without so much as dirtying his hands, Mishima began to manipulate G Corporation from the shadows.
I love the flashing skip.
A serious marksman? Says here they're based in Italy. A society of exorcists who've historically held influence throughout Europe. What are you planning this time?
ジンが財閥を使ってめちゃくちゃしようってからな。世界を掌握するためには
Both of them refusing to speak the other's native language.
世界中の世論を味方につけねばならん。
Also, this Italian Society of
On
Exorcists.
using the society's underground network?
G 社のトップがデビルであることが知れ渡れば、晴れて人間であるわしの正当性を主張できる。今回の大会はその格好の宣伝の場となるじゃろう。間もなくじゃ
Sure, that makes sense.
Raiding their HQ for not returning your calls? You're quite the negotiator.
打って響かぬならねじ伏せるまで当然の対応じゃ。
I don't know why her speaking English and him speaking Japanese is so funny to me. Like, it seems like it's a mistake. I know it's on purpose. They've got plague doctor masks? Of course they do. This is a normal Italian thing.
わしは倒せん。
Sei venuto di persona. Allora è vero ciò che si dice sul tuo conto. I Hachi.
貴様が最強のエクソシスト、クラウディオか。
Mi sembrava di aver
Most
udito
powerful
una
exorcist.
I cacciatori Sirius sono unici al mondo e siamo sempre stati indipendenti. Non intendiamo metterci al servizio dei capricci di qualche corporazione.
それは貴様の事情だ。わしの事情ではない。くだらん交渉は終わりじゃ。わしがここにじきじき参って
Does this gate come down?
分かっておろう。
Se è così, dovrò escogitare un'altra soluzione per farti ragionare.
The language thing, like, it's great. Oh, no, I was gonna play as Claudio here. Kick him in the head! Kick him in the head! Okay, doesn't last forever. I like the little grab indicators, that's nice. Shows you when you put in the input for it, whether it landed or not. Yeah. As the greatest, the most powerful exorcist in all of Italy, he has like light beams that he can throw at you. I thought Tekken was supposed to be the like grounded punch and kick. There's no like Hadoukens. Well, grounded is an interesting word to use to describe whatever this is.
Tu sei un umano con la forza di un demone.
I love the idea that none of them could understand each other. Yeah, there's no tone whiplash from 1111. It's also a game about people speaking different languages to each other and trying to figure it out. They just cut a bunch of instances of people saying, what?
共にデビル討伐を目論むものじゃと。拳での決着はついた。貴様には世論の先導に一役買ってもらうぞ。
Day in, day out, I found
So what
myself
could require such a long loading
poring
screen?
over articles,
The war journalist.
company directories, history books, you name it. I scavenged them all, looking for anything I could find on G Corporation's Kazuya, including his historical and familial links to the Mishima Zaibatsu.
Is this all unknown?
Revealed, even if it meant doing so alone. The Mishimas were warriors hailing back as far as the Taira and Minamoto eras. With the advent of World War, they capitalized on the increased military demand. During my research, I came across two significant names.
I hope the journalist is a fighter.
Head of the Mishima clan during the war, he abhorred needless conflict and reacted accordingly against the organization's military expansion by resolving instead
Are those,
to devote
like,
his military
sideburns?
solely to martial arts. However, all that changed when Heihachi wrested control of the family helm, proceeding to rename the organization the Mishima Zaibatsu. As its
Of course.
head, Heihachi secured its reputation as a world-leading military firm. Which brings us to the second name, Jin Kazama. Seizing control from Heihachi, he reigned over his empire until only recently. He was also the one who started this damn war, which took everything.
This damn war.
I dreamed of one day killing
Which took
him
everything
with my
from me.
bare hands.
If he wasn't saying that, if those specific lines weren't being what was fed to him, it wouldn't be so bad. One day I can't wait to kill him with my bare hands.
Jin Kazama. So che il suo demone interiore supera perfino quello di Kazuya.
At some point, them all speaking different languages isn't to stop being funny to me, but it hasn't happened
Ci
yet.
hanno riferito che un essere disumano è apparso in Estremo Oriente.
人間とは思えぬか。確かに奴は得体の知れぬ化け物じゃ。
So that means Jean is...
どこにいようと構わん。とにかく何としてでも見つけ出し、ここに引っ立ててくるのじゃ。
Is he a cyborg ninja now?
Everything looks clear. En route to the United Nations HQ.
Of the UN soldiers. Sure. Uses head laser. Now he's a Lawrence of Arabia cyborg. A market in the Middle East. We don't need to be specific this time. That was the most useless location title I've ever seen in the history of media. Like, just don't even put one. We'll know what it is when we see it.
I see him! That way! Hands on the ground now! Do it!
Oh, so it's not like robot armor, it's like... a market in the Middle East. Middle East, planet Earth, present day. The fuck is this guy? Oh, Lars from the previous game, who looks like a paladin from League of Legends or something. Oh, he's got a gun. What? What? That seems pretty effective to me. What is with his costume? I'm just shooting into the crowd. This isn't a thing in the actual game, right? What is a strong gun shoot? He looks like he's wearing, like, tier 2 paladin armor. Yeah, exactly, Ravenon.
Is that Lars?
Oh,
Lars.
Things just got a whole lot more complicated. No, there's no point. We'll have to stay one step ahead.
Ma se l'essere disumano in Estremo Oriente non era Jean, chi era? O cosa era?
I don't think you could recreate this, like... The fact that it's naive camp is what works for me, I think.
This lead sent me on a journey through countless documents.
The narrator makes it better, because it's like, this is completely fucking sincere.
There was no mention of what kind of life she and Heihachi
People like this don't get budgets normally.
But it confirmed that Heihachi was Kazuya's father and Kazumi his mother. That's when I realized something shocking. The year Heihachi seized control from Jinpachi and established the Zaibatsu was the same year his wife Kazumi had died, and Kazuya had fallen from a cliff, sustaining terrible injuries.
You got yeeted, actually. You have to press the XY button to do it. And then I dropped him. The second drop is my favorite. I love how he just, like, puts his arms out like this, and Heihachi's body just like slides off slowly. It's like top 5 cutscenes in video game history.
We have a handle on Heihachi Mishima's movements. It appears he is conducting a thorough search for Jin.
And looks at the camera with a smile, yeah.
ジンを使う気か。作戦の準備を急がせろ。
Back to back.
Frustration had become a part of my daily life. Eventually, I ran into a guy in a restaurant. His eyes burned with an almost ungodly fighting spirit. And he looked at me as though he could see the darkest depths of my soul. So, you're the one who's been looking into the Mishima's
You couldn't make a parody of this if you tried.
He said before making his way to the exit. The way
This
he
is
stared
Shaq
at
Fu
me
2.
let me know that he wanted me to follow him. Hypnotized, I walked slowly towards him. As we left the restaurant, he formally introduced himself. His
Dante.
name was Li Chaolan.
He said that in Chinese. The fuck?
Excellent.
What?
助けた恩を蹴りで返すとはとんだじゃじゃ馬ぶりだ。
助けた恩ここは
Is he like,
私は
what the fuck? What?
記憶システムがまだ正常でないようだな。
He's ethnically Chinese, but lives in Japan?
やれやれ。
Cosmos?
なことはしたくないのだ。
Yada yada. Good grief. Elisa. Beat the shit out of my sex robot, I guess. Oh, this is amazing. What the fuck? He's from Tekken 6. The fuck? This is so ridiculous. She has chainsaw arms. See, if this was the first scene in the game, then I wouldn't believe that they were taking the rest of the story seriously, but like having the war journalist be like, he had an ungodly fighting spirit. Like, what? Those are taunts from the computer? Oh, I'm dead. I didn't realize you could get that red thing partway through the fight.
耐えられるかな。食らうがいい。お別れだ。
All right, now it's starting to kind of reveal that it knows how stupid it is.
少し予定が狂ってしまったが、起動テスト完了だ。
Tekken takes place on an Earth where the Tower of Babel never
記憶
fell.
システムもまともになったのではないかな。
まさかあなたは変な社長さんのなんとか
変なは余計だが、あとリー・チャオランだ。まあ思い出してくれて光栄だ。
でもなぜあなたが私は一体
What was her role in Tekken 6?
完全回復とまではいかなかったか。
I already knew about Li Chaolan's company, Violet Systems. famous for its humanoid research and brilliance in the field of
A work of
ergonomics.
transcendent genius.
As a child, Lee had been adopted by Heihachi Mishima,
Okay, that's why he speaks
so he
Japanese.
knew Kazuya of G-Corp and once shared a rivalry with him in the ring. I listened intently, excited about this new breakthrough. Lee's knowledge went beyond that of any article I had read. What he said next, though, unsettled me.
君は悪魔の存在を信じるかい
It's like, I didn't speak Japanese.
すべては和也だ。奴の血が三島家を狂わせた。どうかな何か思い出したかい君がここに来た理由も、君が一緒にいた男のことも思い出せないか
It's like an unnecessarily complicated bed.
ある男の人と戦ったことは覚えてるんです。それまでにたくさんの戦いをしてきたことも。でも、そ
Is
の
her head getting knocked off and respawning? Is that a thing if you play as her in the main game? Or is that unique to the story? Like Lars having a gun.
涙がどうして？
今君の目に溢れているのはその男に会いたいという強い思いさ。
So we don't know anything about her. Lars found a girl, a robot in the second game in Tekken 6. And we don't know why or who she is or what her deal is or where she came from.
君を彼の居場所へ案内してあげよう。
本当ですか？
ああ、お出かけの時間だ。
適正の生体反応を確認。これは鉄拳臭。
やれやれ、無断侵入と。
Yade yade.
リーさん。
Unfortunately, Andrea is taken to that after watching JoJo. Like when I say I love you, Andrea, she goes yada yada yada. Okay, now I get to play as her. The chainsaw arms. Optimizer. Triple session. How dare you use a gun? Her Cosmos wings too. I took her head off there, yeah. He was waiting for one of these guys to take off their mask and actually be a fighter. Thanks, Lee.
大丈夫だ。こちらは任せてくれたまえ。
はい。
Fight!
Stop it. Are those only a couple moves on the assist menu, or are they the other ones that you can do outside of that list? I'm gonna lose to the mooks. Stop shooting me! I'm dead! And then Lee died. Please don't put me all the way back to Elisa. Okay.
Fight.
Decent, easy to understand. Okay. He likes to knock back, which seems kind of bad in this game. Do they take extra damage if they get knocked into a wall or something? Yeah, I've started to do that, like, charging up a throw thing a couple times. I'm not sure how it works. Knocking into walls a bit of extra damage, okay. Hi.
わしが犬間に鉄拳衆の質も落ちたものよの。
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing. Presumably it does.
すれば次はないと思え。
I'll have to handle this myself. Do you have the target in your sights?
捕捉できています。
Prepare the SWAT team. I'm going in.
You spam the same move over and over, it's a stale move and gives you a penalty to damage and knockback each time you do it. Most fighting games have something like that.
I could tell by the look in his eyes that he was telling the truth. A few days later, I headed to Kyoto. The old guy I'd contacted was already waiting for me at the rundown house.
Anagram Lovers, Tokyo.
I'd like to know more about the mystery of the Hachijo household strength. I decided to be straight up, which seemed to knock the old
The
timer.
old timer was like, wow, you really don't seem to care about this, do
I
you?
didn't believe in devils. Had no reason to. But Lee had said to me that Kazuya's blood cursed the Mishimas. The archived account on the Hachijo who Heihachi's wife Kazumi belonged to. I arranged to meet a guy who'd served the Hachijo family many years ago. If Kazuya had inherited Kazumi's blood, then maybe this guy could help me. But my efforts were in vain. The old man knew nothing. Then, when I thanked him and was made to leave,
そこの鬼さん、そこの毛、そこの毛、赤い川では水遊び、川が流れた先にも鬼さん、どこまで続くや、この鬼遊び。
he sung slowly. It was a traditional nursery rhyme
Slowly.
of the Hachijo family. When I heard it, I froze. What if the demon represented a mysterious power?
What?
Red referred to blood, and the river symbolized a bloodline.
It's like
the old
the
man hummed on,
Black Dynamite scene.
horror.
Spell it backwards, drop the S. Ram. That's the zodiological sign for Aries. Takuma.
貴様、何者じゃ。
Shouldn't have watched that opening cutscene.
剣を極めし者なれ。ほう。ならば言葉はいらんな。これも定め。
Alright, no name. Oh wow, it actually is Akuma. Although he looks exactly like him. And he's got the right moves. No kidding. It's kind of interesting, so... Is this a Tekken 7 thing? Is this a crossover thing? Yeah, the inputs are the right ones. It's interesting that they changed the inputs for him. Maybe it just accepts the same inputs. Yeah, that's kind of cool. He's canon in the lore, but just Akuma? Okay. So if I use the assist ones, I can't do the... Street Fighter inputs. That's crazy. So are Tekken characters also featured in modern Street Fighter games? I'm gonna die a couple more times. How does the X bar work? I haven't played modern Street Fighter. The last Street Fighter I played was Street Fighter 2. Yeah, I knew Street Fighter X Tekken was a thing, or Cross Tekken, but I did not realize that, like, it carried over into, like, actual Tekken canon. Multiple attack buttons plus motion input.
Ci
Okay.
hanno riferito che un essere disumano è apparso in Estremo Oriente.
まさか
Hey, these guys. It's like if you ever need two people who are enemies to fight back to back, just throw in some jack robots.
まあ G 社
Jaku 6.
何のことだ
That's cool that he has the X bar and still has all the same inputs.
He's not registered in our database.
I can see Akuma being like a downloadable character. The fact that he's in the story is like, what the fuck? No, I want to play as Akuma. I know some of his moves. At least I can bring back the Heihachi head kick cheese. Are the Jack robots based on like an actual human fighter from an earlier game? Apparently none of this stuck with me at all. Yeah. Oh, I love those corpses stacked on top of each other there. Has that ever happened before where they, I mean, I guess
貴様なかなかやるではないか名を名乗れ
we don't really care about the canon of fighting games, but
和美殿の願いに従いうぬと三島和也に死をもたらす者
I like how he looks like a street, like he doesn't look like a photorealistic person. He looks like a stylized Street Fighter alien.
和也のことも
全ては
And the robot looks like an anime girl. Oh, man, it's...
何和美じゃと和美が貴様にわしと和也を殺すよう依頼しておったじゃとはバカバカしいその話が本当ならなぜ今頃に
Had to get the rights from
現れた
Capcom.
うぬらが力を持つまで待っておっただけのこと今ここで和美殿との約束果たそうぞ
Well, you can tell when combat's about to start because, like... Is it a specific input for the super? Or just press all the buttons and press all the directions simultaneously kind of a thing? Change for each character.
弱者必滅
Oh, that's a cool thing where he knocks you on the ground like that.
You lose.
If anyone knows any of the super inputs, it'd be kind of cool if you were like a lifetime fighting game fan and you just knew all his inputs immediately. I happen to know a couple of the obvious like Ryu ones, you know. You can see them in the menu. Wrath of the Raging Demon. XX right AY. Is that not rage? Super's not the same thing. I thought that was like a Tekken character thing, and Super was like the Street Fighter character version of that. Welcome to your doom. That's great. What's with the white, like, not taking damage thing that Heihachi keeps doing? It's like a parry thing that he's doing. Oh, I didn't realize there were aerial grabs. It's pretty cool. Die 1,000 deaths. That's cool. So it actually shows super armor visually. That's cool. Yeah, the UI has been really polished so far and clean. Extremely buff guys in suits is just a funny visual to me. Like, it's funny when wrestlers do it.
The minute I got back from Kyoto, I learned that the
Plan
war had
E.
escalated further. The world's media was buzzing with news about the Zaibatsu, including the attack on Lee's Violet system.
Satellite is gonna fall?
It was then that I received an email from Lee himself, saying he wanted to introduce me to someone who was well versed in the Mishima Zaibatsu's affairs. At last, my investigation was back on track.
Right.
The email concluded with a name I'd yet to come across. Lars Alexanderson.
Even the name Lars Alexanderson is... He's got a new costume? Yare yare. This guy, his costume is just, he's extremely extra in a game where everything is extra. Music. Wait, she looks like she has like a skin-tight robot suit, but she still has boob physics. Is she not wearing metal? Is she in like... Jesus Christ. Lars's hair too. Or you had to fight her to wake her up. It's like, oh yeah, we gotta jostle her memory and beating the shit out of her. Oh, destructible environments. It's cool. I'm gonna die. It's doing okay at the beginning. Shao Kahn comeback.
You lose.
Is that like a counter, the yellow lightning thing that Nina does? No, there's this one again. That's pretty good. Being related to Heihachi just means you don't ever have to use hairspray. It seems like she uses it to block damage. She has one where she stacks it a bunch of times. Which is, why does she have a purple vomit ability? What the heck is that all about? Okay.
You lose.
Also seems to block damage when she activates it. Ow. 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 Can't seem to get out of that. There we go. I'm gonna die again. Alright. He's kicking my ass. think I automatically did some kind of taunt there. Trying to block there, but no way. Yeah, I keep doing this taunt on accident. That thing. Is that enough? Maybe? Nope. Oh, this is a losing plot anyway. I thought it was gonna, like, it would have been great when she did the
Acquire the target. Be quick.
thigh squeeze if it popped her head off. I guess the second one I get to go first this time. You kick things fair. I don't know why I keep taunting like that. I'm not trying to. Maybe. Nope, so much for that. So do rage effects just build normally in normal combat and they're just story-based in the campaign, basically?
You lose.
Try again. Always block rage if they're not doing anything else. I seem to struggle with, like, I'll be holding block and I get hit a lot anyway. Is it just because I need to be crouch blocking sometimes? That's pretty brutal.
You've got a date with death. Not so fast.
Lars is hilarious. He looks like he's in the wrong game. This is like modern day battling corporations. She's fine.
敵をわざとあそこへおびき寄せて爆破する作戦だったのか。
無事にジンも運び出せた。異論はないはずだが。
Who else is
ま、修繕費は三島財閥に利子をつけて
Lee
払
a
っても
voice
らう
actor for? What else is he in?
ジン、お前にはまだやってもらわなければならないことがある。こんなところで終わらせるわけにはいかないんだ。
What do they hope to achieve by sheltering Jean? This could be interesting to watch.
Lars Alexanderson was younger than I expected. When Lee described him to me, of how he'd escaped, divided the Tekken force, and formed a rebel army, I imagined someone completely different. His eyes told a story of sadness hidden deep within. In the sterile air of Violet Systems, where he and Lee were holed up together, Lars explained to me that he was Heihachi's illegitimate child. Heihachi had fathered him to cast aside all doubt that he had the devil gene in his blood. Lars existed solely for that purpose. I could barely contain my excitement at not only meeting a blood relative, but also at learning this revelation. While Lars and Lee conversed,
long pause.
I overheard something that shocked me.
I was shocked.
Had been found. Jin Kazama, Kazuya's son and Heihachi's grandson. The hatred
I could barely
had
contain
held
my
deep inside surged through my veins like a tidal wave. Jin had put the wheels in motion that led to me.
I wanted to kill him with my bare hands.
Then, as if finally putting his feelings into words, Lars muttered,
He's the voice of Byakuya, okay, from Bleach.
There was no mistaking what he had said.
That's where I know it. Oh, I was dying at the beginning, or I'm starting to get numb to it, but at the beginning I was like, what? Of course, then he summoned the dragon Azazel. Grand tradition of flashing back to things that literally just happened. We're at time here and get to a save icon. Oh,
ゴーキと名乗った男の行方は現在追跡中です。奴はわしと和也を殺めると言っておった。必ず和也のもとへ向かうはずだ。ところでジンはどうなった？それが部隊は全滅した模様です。全滅じゃと？所詮その程度だったということか。大きなるものが現れ、和也のもとへ向かう。そしてジンの線が断たれた。なるほど。これは面白い筋書きができそうじゃ。今すぐ全世界にわしが死んだという情報を流せ。
My second action as president. Hi. He does not fit at all. It's hilarious. I love it. Like, they didn't try to Tekkenify him, right?
He's alive? That was the first thing I thought when I saw Jin Kazama. I took the opportunity to quietly pocket a screwdriver. The man who had stolen everything from me lay before my eyes. An opportunity like this may never present itself again.
俺もジンを殺してやりたい思いは同じさ。だが、この戦いを終わらせられるのはこいつしかいないんだ。
It was as if Lars could read my mind. He explained that when Jin woke up, he would try to use Jin's power to put a stop to all the fighting.
Okay.
All I could do was nod in agreement.
I love the constantly flashing skip. Like, it would be fine if it was just there the whole time. It's like, why are you you know you could skip this, right?
三島財閥当主死亡の方により G 社の勝利は確実だと世界中が沸き立っております。ここまでは狙い通りじゃな。例の準備はできておるか。はい。鍵となるのは豪気よ。和也とて安相手ではデビル化せざるを得まい。
What a genius plan.
和也がデビルであることを暴いた映像を流せば。
Yeah, this whole like we're gonna come out on top by showing that Kazuya is actually a devil. That undoes all of my crimes. That's the dumbest thing ever. I love it. The plot of Tekken 7 is causing a PR nightmare for a rival corporation. We're gonna get Kazuya cancelled. I'm from the Street Fighter universe. That's why I look so weird. Alright, future Marstead, your Akuma. Your Akuma moves that you know still work, so do that, I guess. Have fun. This game is something else. Thanks. Okay. You guys know what's coming up here.